Honestly, people, this is an educational presentation, not Star Wars! Please excuse the inconvenience. Your featured presentation will begin momentarily. In this video, you will be learning about the Silk Road and its contributions to humanity. Now your hungry minds must be wondering, what is the Silk Road? Well, to be vague, this is what it looks like on a map. You will be pleased to hear that. I won't stop you there. The Silk Road was a major trade route that connected China and what we would call the Roman Empire from around 130 BC to 1453 CE. Why that specific end date? You will soon find out. Many kings traveled along the Silk Road, including religions such as Islam and Buddhism, which is how we find religions such as these in the Middle East and Southern Asia. It also spread luxury goods that were in high demand, like spices, precious metals, and stones, and of course, its namesake commodity, silk, which made the most amazing thing in the world, togas. Sadly enough, this consumer culture was reserved for the upper classes, so yeah, sorry serfs, it's not your turn yet. Moving on to another social impact, nomads. These nomads were our main middlemen for trading items from China to, of course, the Roman Empire. So along the way, you would have some stopping points. A lot of settlements were established in the Middle East as centers of trade. Also, because these nomads were being exposed to different areas, they would become immune to those local diseases, unlike those who didn't travel. They would also use beasts of burden, such as camels, which became widely used in caravans because they can endure dry, arid lands. So, you think the Silk Road sounds amazing, right? Well then, you are wrong. It has a dark side. I said no Star Wars! You can use your hate against me later, now go away! Like I mentioned before, the bubonic plague, also known as the Black Plague, spread from China via the Silk Road to rats on Italian merchant ships to the rest of Europe. Some legends even state that this catastrophe started with, wait, you guessed it, the Mongols. Some legends state that the Mongols had a war with China. One of their methods of conducting this war was catapulting infected bodies over walls. Thus, you have the first form of biological warfare. Moreover, on the Black Death, fear spread across the continent. The church began to draw their power from that fear, from the poor, sick, uneducated masses, by preaching them to repent. As a result, people tortured themselves and or each other to compensate for their sins. The Black Death already killed almost half of Europe, so people would torture themselves to compensate for their sins, since they believed this was some kind of punishment from God. Some examples were flagellants, which were upper-class men that would publicly beat themselves. The people began to look up to these nobles, and the Pope began to worry about his authority. Thus, you have church corruption, selling of indulgences, blah blah blah, save people from purgatory and stuff. Sadly enough, all good and fun chaotic things must come to an end. When the Ottoman Empire took over much of the Eastern world in 1453, Western Europeans found the Silk Road too dangerous to travel since it was in the hands of the Ottomans. The Silk Road left behind a consumer culture and inspired Europe to find a sea route to Asia for all those luxurious goods that they missed so much. Of course, we all know what happens in 1492. The discovery of the Americas. So, of course, we walk into this new age of dominance of foreign lands and Middle Passage, slave trading. To sum up most of the impacts of the Silk Road, it traded silk and other luxurious goods that created a consumer culture in Western Europe. It created settlements in the Middle East. It also spread religion, ideas, and diseases to cause weird, social, chaotic events. And also, its ending marked the beginning of the Age of Exploration. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Maybe I'll see you next time. Bye bye!